Alrighty, guys. So as I explained in the other episode, I wasn't thinking clearly, and I accidentally recorded um holding my phone because the receiver's connected to my phone for this wireless mic, and it's a Bluetooth mic, and I unfortunately was holding my phone instead of holding the microphone. So unfortunately, that whole segment's pretty muffled. So I'm gonna post that at the end of this segment, and I broke up the episode from talking about the nursing blog service, the nursing blog article writing service. Now we're gonna talk for a few minutes about the what would an improvement look like for a t-shirt product. So if you remember, the t-shirt website was called Foam and Floor. Foamandfloor.com. And they sell floral t-shirts, floral design t-shirts. They don't have any social media. They have a Shopify store. They don't have any ads, right? How could we improve this? So going back to the first, set of questions, general, not even too much detail yet. Like I said before, we're not talking about gender or age or any type of demographic specifically other than who might want these shirts, like who in general. So, this might be a little bit of a heavy subject, but let's say that a lot of times those shirts that are those floral design. I think, are they called Tommy Bahama shirts? I don't remember what they're called really, but they're kind of those like Hawaiian. They're kind of usually referred to as Hawaiian shirts. And a lot of times they're button downs. But let's just say you have a t-shirt that's got that design, right? And when I think Hawaii right now, I think, the unfortunate disasters that have happened there, and the fact that a lot of aid is needed there. People need food, people need shelter, people need clothing. And potentially that could be a way to market a product. I'm not saying that's the best way is to look for natural or disasters that hit an area, but what I'm saying is you could contribute value by providing donation money. So say if you list the shirts, I'm not saying this like do it, I'm just saying, say if you listed the shirts at $50 a shirt, meaning that half of the money goes to let's say you listed it at 50, but the what do you call it? The profit is going to be $40 off of a $50 shirt after all the fees and the shipping, and say if you're doing a print on demand kind of service. So say you calculate $10 off of a $40 sale. You list them at $40 even though you could have listed it at $20 and gotten $10 for each one. But instead you list it at $40. I mean, you list it at $50 and get $40 for each one. Give $20 to, a shelter in Hawaii that helps people that is helping people, and you can see where your money is going. Maybe even provide a bundle of something else valuable like freeze dry food, or some other thing that people can buy that you would ship. Maybe you would take $1 out for yourself for profit and otherwise you would ship it directly to the shelter or to the food kitchen or to somebody who you know is actually helping the people in Hawaii. So that could be a way for you to help people as well as make an income. I don't see anything wrong with it. It doesn't seem shady to me. I mean, if you're taking the donation money, that's messed up. If you are lying and doing something that you didn't say you were gonna do, or trying to like make the wording weird so people misunderstand what you're doing or saying, or creating some other stupid side fund where you're like, I'll donate to the fund of Hawaii, and that just happens to be a business name you wrote for yourself so you can collect all the money for yourself. That's shady business. I'm not saying do that, but I don't see any crime in taking $1 off of a freeze dried donation for yourself for every sale that you make. All of that goes directly to the people in need, and then for every T-shirt that somebody buys, it they get you get $20 off of it, and you send $20 to Hawaii for a service that you can verify is helping people. That would be one way to help, and to have a who would be anyone who pretty much cares and can afford and want to donate to the cause of helping the people in Hawaii. That could be who. And the value is that people are getting helped by the products that they're buying from you. People are getting helped. How else would someone be able to improve this service? You could post it on, if it's allowed, you could post it on Facebook, you could post it on Instagram, um, TikTok. You could post it all over the place. You might get some sales on it, even if you don't have like an established social media presence. Um, it does help actually to post other stuff too. That's not just like, here's my product, buy this thing. Like a lot of times you want to let a social media um what do you call it? A social media brand kind of, I'm forgetting the terminology, but you kind of want to let it kind of bask for a little bit, for a couple days, um, before you start posting anything you're going to sell. You want to engage with other content first. These are kind of best practices. Start engaging with other content. You can follow other people. You can follow a bunch of people from Hawaii. You can follow a bunch of enthusiasts about the Hawaiian language. You can follow a bunch of people who value indigenous culture. You can follow a bunch of people who value island culture, travel culture to Hawaii. You can, cruise travel to Hawaii. People who value Hawaiian music, the languages, the food. You can start adding and following and engaging with all these types of businesses and individuals before you're like, hey, buy my t-shirt. um but that could go over well. You might want to learn how to make ads. You can make ads off CapCut. If you can't actually find a like, if you don't want to take the time and or can't actually find someone to model your shirt for you, say you're embarrassed about your weight and don't want to be on camera with like a 3XL shirt or something, say you just don't know anybody, say you don't want to wait the 5 to 6 days for the shirt to be created by the print by demand and then shipped over to you, so you don't, because you don't have any physical copies of your own product yet. Say you don't want to do that, you could still do it all digitally. CapCut is a good, easy to learn free product. There's a paid version, but there's a free version that works really well. Um, you could basically, I mean, a lot of times shirts show like on these websites, there might be a front to a shirt and a back to a shirt. Sorry, I'm so distracted. I apologize, guys. First there were the sirens, and now there's somebody across the street screaming. I can't tell if there's like a protest starting or if it's just some rogue person just like yelling just because that's what happens in the city. People like to scream. Um but anyways, say you have this uh yeah, so say you're working on an ad and you don't have the physical shirt, you could screen record yourself with a, you know, like scrolling through your, maybe not through your whole website, but scrolling through the shirt, zooming into it, zooming out to it, flipping it around so you could see the back, zooming into it, zooming out of it. Um, I always like to put a QR code at the end of my ads, just in case somebody's watching it on a desktop. Sometimes they're not. Sometimes it might not be in a way that's like clickable. So if they have their phones out, or you know how some people watch, like, I don't think anybody watches TikTok on their TV, but like, say if somebody watches something like where it's on a big screen, sometimes people might already have their phone out and you could just capture that QR code real quick. It's just an extra measure for people who don't want to click on something or pause and go click a link into a website, or if you don't want people to be taken away from your site completely, that's one way to do it, because they could pull out their phone and go to that QR code. But you could basically screen record yourself on your phone on your store, showing in detail as much as you can about the shirt visibly, and then edit that footage to make a type of an ad where you just show, like, you know I mean, I wouldn't recommend necessarily like depressing footage of like children and like burning types of places in Hawaii and stuff like that. Like, not really making it look that way, but I would say that, if you wanted to show, some of Hawaiian culture, or maybe some statements that some people say, like, thank you for helping us. If you can like provide any kind of, support, be creative, or whatever you want to say, you could probably say something on there. Um, Authentic, not just to make money. That might be a better angle. Sorry, I know that sounds kind of morbid, but I'm like that. I mean, I do think, if more people did stuff like that, it would be a way of helping. And a lot of times, it is hard for people to donate when they really don't have any money. I know a lot of us often say, what, not just say, but mean it too, that, it's not the easiest time to be just like donating money. But if you really do have a passion for that and you really still need to eat, that's one way. You can always do some kind of charity where you're making money from it, and you can donate a percentage. I think it's honorable. A lot of us, we still got to work to eat, so it's understandable. I don't think there's anything sleazy about it. Some people might say, "Oh, like you're just trying to make a buck off of a donation," but it's like, is it better to make $100, or yeah, to make however many sales you would make, 5 sales where you would make $100 and you'd send $100 to Hawaii, or you yourself can maybe only afford $10 to send, or it's like, you know, why not? Now you have $100 to send. And yeah, you made $100, but you can pay your groceries, your gas a little bit with some of that money. So I don't know. That's just kind of my way of looking at it. Um, Money's a complex topic. Sales is a complex topic. Advertising, marketing is complex. We all know what the shady ones look like. We all know when we go on a site and we're like, I'm not going to buy this. This isn't trusted. This can't be trusted. Um, and then going from there. So I would say, um, these might not be the best ideas to try, but they're not the worst ideas either. These are the types of things I think when I'm just going on the fly. They're examples that people could potentially try, and you know the key word is trying. The first steps once you figure out the niche and kind of what you're trying to sell and where you're going to sell it and how you're going to sell it, and you learn the skills behind it. You want to learn the SEO practices for the sites you're going to be using. You want to know where's the best place to market this, what are the best prices, who are the best people to market it to. What do I need to have established and in place before I start marketing something? Can I do it cold, or do I need to have some kind of warmed up kind of like you know, um, following? What do I need? And then test, 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 and change what's not working. Like if you're doing this while you're still learning, which is fine, it's fine to invest in your own education and be more hands-on and test stuff out and try. It's fine. I feel like a lot of us learn better that way. I learn better that way. um it costs a little bit of more money out up front sometimes because you kind of learn and have to spend without actually seeing the results first. But sometimes it's like, you have to buy that domain name, you have to buy that Shopify store. You don't really have to, but I'm just saying, like, sometimes it does help because at least you're a little more invested in it. And a lot of times it's not a lot of money up front. Like, I'm not saying go pay somebody like $3,000 to run you up a brand. It's nothing, you know. Um, you know, from what you have that seems solid, if you have a service or a product, what you're going to do from there is you're going to keep trying to post, you're going to keep engaging with your social media, you're going to keep trying to get clients or customers, you're going to change up your methods. Try something for a few days. If it doesn't work at all, if you don't see any change, try something different and keep going. Keep trying something different until something works out well. Um, it is getting really loud tonight. I'm getting really tired. Maybe I'm just exhausted and everything's a little bit irritating, but the amount of noise tonight is just a little bit, it's throwing me off a little bit. So, and this recording, I'm trying to keep them short so you can digest it easily. And, the goal of these episodes is for me to provide valuable information for people who want to start trying things, start trying it out. Take the concepts I'm talking about in this short form, go study it in more detail, and then try it. Like these podcast episodes, they're maybe 10 minutes long, maybe 20 minutes long. I don't know how long they all are, but 10-20 minutes or so. And then go learn about it in more detail and then go try it. If it doesn't work, then keep learning and trying different things based on what you learn. But for now, that's all, and I'll let you guys keep practicing. Um, Again, I'm gonna post that messed up audio recording at the end of this episode, um, in case somebody wants to hear it, just because it is connected. Maybe you heard the whole messed up part already, maybe not, but just in case, I'm gonna post it here afterwards. And thanks for listening. All right, guys. So let's talk some of those strategies here. Once you figure out your niche, you figure out what you're selling, product or service. Um, what you want to do is ask yourself, you want to know who you are selling to. So let's keep these two examples, the blog and the t-shirt. Or not the blog and the t-shirt. The blog content writing service and the t-shirt product. Two separate things. One's a service, one's a product. Two separate people. One's providing you a service, writing content for your blog. One's providing you a service, providing you with cool looking floral t-shirts. How do you think one would go about selling? I mean, first place to really ask, thing to really ask is, who am I serving or who am I servicing, and what kind of problem is my whatever I'm selling, what kind of problem am I solving in that niche? I mean, if you think about blog content writing, say you pick a niche. Let's go back. Let's go back to the nursing, right? Say if my friend who had that nursing blog was able to help other people who want to write nursing blogs. Pretty sure he wouldn't have a hard time finding, and finding in that niche people who want his services. Because if people are already flocking to his services, his blog, because it's already a niche that people are in high demand, wanting to have information about how to pass and get into the field, people are already finding his content and loving it as it is, or it's just passing it around to other students and it spreads like wildfire around a couple of universities. People who know other people all sharing that information. These are students who want to be in, um, nursing. They want to pass. They want to become nurses. But he's not selling information. He's giving that away for free. But he could sell the information about how to write a successful, not really how to write a successful blog, but he could sell his blog posts. But he could do that too. He could sell maybe a course about how to write a successful nursing blog. He could also sell individual blog posts about nursing. Say he offers a bundle, 5 posts about nursing school for your tutoring. Maybe he's marketing to tutors, people who tutor nursing students, teachers who have nursing students, and he's creating, for independent um, teaching sites. He's providing this information. So that's the who, and then like either teachers or tutors who are, interested in blogging about nursing. He could easily write blog posts for these people. So he's already doing it. He's already ranking it. He's already doing it. I don't know. He's not doing it right now, but I'm just saying he's already doing it. He's already ranking it. He shouldn't have a problem doing it for other people. Now he's going to need to know which keywords he's going to use. He's going to need placement of keywords. He's going to need to understand hyperlinks. He's going to need to understand what photos or videos or photos, videos, um, podcast episodes, worksheets, whatever it is he wants to post. Um, he could do that to make it stronger, or the people, the tutors or the teachers could add that content to his blog post once he gives them the written content. He's going to need to know about formatting, what are best practices for formatting, the spacing. And most people don't really want to read a blog that has like a whole lot of condensed small font that's like the same color as the background. The font's barely the same and it's really small and crammed together, like 8 font that's like single spacing and super tiny, you know, gray color font on a black background or something like that where you can't really read it too good. Like that that probably won't do super well. You got to think about things like that, having one or two sentence paragraphs, the headings, being, learning how to use headers, H1, H2, know, um, just knowing what you're doing in general. I'd say that would be a good first step. He would do well. That would be a business that he could launch with some work or a little bit of word of mouth. I think if somebody wanted to launch a service like that to get their first sales on a blog for like, let's say you want to make your first $100 or even your first $50, and if he's pricing it at $5 a post or $5 a blog post or article, I guess rather, because he's not technically posting them, but if he's charging $5, I think you do well, don't you? You could see how that would do well. He's already got people in his court. He might not need too much to market himself. He might do fine just by word of mouth. He might be able to go on University Tutor, if it still exists, or LinkedIn, find these other people who are already blogging and, or people who are looking for um, bloggers. He can search for people who are looking for nursing bloggers and potentially find work, you know, doing that. $5 a post or $30 an hour or whatever it is he wants to charge. Usually, I think people charge by word count, um, but he could do it however he wants. I think that would do better than the first example where it's like, who the heck knows what's happening with that? You know, um, bestblogger.com, and somebody trying to sell their blogging services. They want to write blog posts for you, but it's just random stuff too. That could still do really well, but it's like if you don't really have any other social media backing it, if you don't have proof that you've started a blog and it did well, it's really going to be hard. Let's go to the other example, t-shirts. Oh yeah, let me say one more thing. For the first example, um, that guy might not need a Shopify store to sell his services. He might do fine with Upwork or Fiverr or Medium or some other way to create maybe like a landing page. I don't think you really need Shopify necessarily. I don't think that would be like the absolute best program, especially for the amount of money that it costs after 3 months, after that trial. If you get that trial, you're paying $39 a month. So if somebody's making $50 a month, paying $39 a month, that's a lot of money. I would say that's probably not the best idea. Um, it's not the worst platform to use, but I do feel like it's a little expensive. That's just my opinion. It's a little expensive for beginners, and then because there's like that cold aspect to it, you still need to have. Usually, you need to have some kind of social media presence or some kind of like audience to market that website to. And so, if you don't already have a social media presence, unless you're handing out business cards or like posting your links all over the place, or providing content and posting on Twitter and being like, oh, check out my blog post on this, and like engaging with other content online to get people to check out your information, share it around, it's going to be kind of hard, but it's not impossible. I've seen it work. Say that you're selling this. Go back to the t-shirts, right? Let's talk about that bad t-shirt example where somebody doesn't know what they're doing. They're running up a foam and floor t-shirt store. How can we make this better? You know, how can we make it better? They want to know if we're just looking at those questions. Um, who are we marketing to, and what problem are we solving? Um, maybe I don't want to give like a dark example. I don't, but maybe maybe this is a hopeful example. Because I'm talking about the first kind of questions that are good to ask. They're not the only important questions, but we got to start somewhere. So that's the style of thinking. Who needs these services, and what's the problem I'm solving for them? So let's say, I think, I don't know, but I think it would be, I don't really like trying to capitalize off other people's grief, but also turn it around to something more positive. So let's say, with the unfortunate, disaster that occurred um, in Hawaii, let's say, they have an official flower or some kind of designs of leis, flower leis. Um, you could use those types of prints. Say that your say that your Shopify T-shirt store is actually um, half of the proceeds go to help in Hawaii, and you will uh, donate that money to, I don't know, let's call it a specific homeless shelter that is providing good services. Half of every t-shirt sale goes to that shelter. You're just going to Venmo them the money or put it on their GoFundMe page or whatever, and you're going to show proof of it. You'll give people a tax. What do you call it? Like for the tax write off, you'll give them proof that they've donated. So I think if someone put up a store like that, it could potentially do all right, maybe. Um, so I do feel like something like that would go all right, or potentially. At least you get traffic. Even if nobody liked your stuff, I think if you tried to promote something like that cold, because I don't know if trend is the right word, but it is somewhat, a hot topic, a trend, um, in the sense that it is an urgent situation, that would be solving a problem where these people need aid, need help. The, the places that are providing the resources, they really need, um, they're really trying to help people. Um, but you know, anywhere that's a resource usually needs more. They need more support. They need more money. They need more. So maybe you could sell them to people who are doing well in Hawaii. Maybe that would be a market of who. Maybe you could sell it to people who don't live in Hawaii, who want to donate. That would be a good market of who. And the problem that you're solving, or at least, um, half of the money is going towards solving, you'd probably have to increase the price of the shirt. Say if the price of a shirt would normally be let's say $25, maybe you could sell them for $50 or something like that. If you still needed that profit off of the $25. Um, and this is like that's like the fifth vehicle that's gone past today. Just right now, I'm not even talking about earlier. There's got to be something going on, unfortunately. Um, but yeah, say um, if you were legit gonna do that, you might be able to get some kind of traffic. It wouldn't matter what your store's name is. Um, if you're marketing to people who care, they might buy those shirts. And then you have to make sure you send that money. You got to make sure you donate that money. You can't lie about stuff like that, but um, you'd still get sales on your end too from that. You'd probably profit off of it somehow. Um, but I think that could potentially do well. Um, if we're talking about improvements on that previous bad example, you might not need a whole lot of social media to promote that, but if you had an Instagram page, an ad that you could run off TikTok, um, and you were engaging on Instagram, adding people regularly, people that had something to do with Hawaii. Um, Goodness, this is number 6. What is happening? But yeah, if you had something like that going on, you could probably make some sales. I wouldn't doubt that you could probably run up a store to sell shirts like that. I would say that you could probably get some sales on, blogging services like that, like the way I mentioned earlier. I could see that potentially working, or at least people having interest in it. And especially if you have proof, reviews, those help. Whenever you're providing a service showing specific results. So if you had other monetary results that you got from other people where it shows monetary, like a monetized site, like through Medium, maybe you wrote on a site on Medium and it shows the stats and how much money you got. If you ranked into the ambassador program, that means that you had a following or at least a certain amount of readers coming to your blog. And then if you were able to make money from there and, screenshot some of those results that you got with the times of like maybe it took you 2 months to start making money on Medium on your blog about nursing. Um, that would show other people who write about nursing that how to do that. Maybe you could also offer consulting services about, SEO for their blog or, a different type of bundle. Same with t-shirts. Maybe you could offer other types of items, important items. Um, you know, People could buy stuff for people uh in Hawaii, like um I don't know, maybe like freeze dried packets of food. Like, how people go like hiking or camping and they get those freeze dried foods from uh like those MREs, those meals ready to eat. Say say that's what people got. 7. This is like the 7th one. Sorry, this is too distracting for me. But those would be improvements. Those that would look like minor improvements. Those would be some of the first questions you could ask, see if those methods would work, and that would be a good start compared to the other examples that those are bad starts.